Power. You think you know what it is. You sit in the gym, you measure it in numbers, but real power, that's different. It's the unshakable will to dominate. From the industrial city of Germiston to the deafening roar of a World Cup final, this is the story of how a quiet man became the planet's most feared hooker. This is the story of Malcolm Marx. How does someone get to be the best in the world at one of the most brutal positions in sport? Is it just raw talent, a lucky break, or is it something more? For Malcolm Marx, the answer is just on the rugby pitch. Born in Germiston, but embodying the tough, uncompromising spirit of South Africa's Free State heartland, his journey was never going to be ordinary. He's a walking paradox, a quiet, humble guy who turns into an unstoppable force of nature the second he crosses the white line. This isn't just another rugby story. It's a blueprint for how relentless drive can conquer the world. Malcolm Justin Marx was born on 13 July 1994 in Germiston, South Africa. While born in the city, he played with a toughness as if he was raised in the heartland of South African rugby, a place where grit isn't taught, it's just part of the air you breathe. That raw, physical potential found its home at King Edward School in Johannesburg, a legendary institution known for producing rugby warriors. It was there that this incredible physical gift became impossible to ignore, but he wasn't always the front row monster we know today. In his early days, Marx actually played in the back line, which explains his surprising agility and handling skills. As he grew, coaches moved him into the forward pack, first as a flanker and then an eighth man. At King Edward School, he built a powerful bond with two other future pros, Dylan Smith and Kyle Brink. The trio of friends pushed each other constantly, on and off the field. Even then, surrounded by future giants of the game, Mark's power was just different. He had an engine that never quit and a hunger that you just can't coach. The path for a pro athlete is almost never a straight line. As a powerful loose forward, Marx was already turning heads and earned a spot in the South African schools team. He was a destructive force, a tackling machine with soft hands of a center, but his true destiny wasn't in the number 7 or 8 jersey. Some of the sharpest minds in South African rugby saw more than just a great flanker. They saw the future Springbok front row. They pulled the young player aside and gave him advice that would change his career forever. Move to hooker. For a guy comfortable in the wide open spaces of the back row, this was a massive challenge. The hooker's position is a dark art, a world of intense pressure, technical skills, and claustrophobic combat. It means learning a whole new craft from scratch, the secret of the scrum, and the immense pressure of the line-out throw, all while keeping the explosive power that made him special. Many players would have refused, but Marx, with his trademark humility and work ethic, didn't see it as a step back. He saw it as a challenge. He said yes, that single decision was the moment he stepped off the familiar path onto the road that would lead him to the global domination. With a new position and a fire in his belly, Mark started his professional journey. He debuted for the Golden Lions in 2014, and the impact was immediate. He wasn't just another rookie, he was a phenomenon. Super Rugby, known as the toughest club competition on the planet, became his personal playground. The guy who switched from the back row was now a forward who played like one, blending the pure power of a prop with the breakdown skills of a flanker and running lines of a center. His agility, his powerful ball carrying, and his canning ability to steal the ball at the breakdown made him an incredible asset. In 2017, his rise went into overdrive. He was named the Lions Super Rugby Player of the Year and the South African Player of the Year. He wasn't just good anymore, he was setting the standard. On the world stage, he went head-to-head with legendary hookers like Ireland's Rory Best and the All Blacks' Dane Coles. These weren't just opponents, they were the benchmark he had to beat. In a legendary performance against the All Blacks in 2017, Marx put on a clinical performance. He scored a try, set up another, and won an unbelievable 4 turnovers, proving he belonged in the conversation for the world's best. But every hero has a weakness. While his play in loose was game-changing, one part of his new position was a constant battle, the lineouts. The harsh reality of being a world-class hooker is you can be the best on the field for 79 minutes, but one crooked throw is all anyone remembers. As his fame grew, so did the pressure. Opponents, especially the sharp All Blacks, started targeting his throws, turning a key part of the game into a source of frustration. This technical challenge became his dragon to slay, week after week, and he openly admitted he needed to improve, showing the humility that always defined him. The world saw a titan, but Marx saw a craftsman who was still sharpening his tools. For a warrior like Malcolm Marx, the biggest battle isn't against an opponent on the field. It's the inability of not going into battle at all. At the absolute peak of his power, his body betrayed him. The first major blow came during the 2023 Rugby World Cup in France. After starting in the Springboks' opening win over Scotland, a freak accident happened at training. A teammate fell on his leg, and the result was devastating. A severe knee injury. His tournament was over. The dream of defending the World Cup he helped win in 2019 was gone in an instant. Springbok coach Jacques Nienaber called it tragic, not just for the team, but for the tournament itself, which had been robbed of one of its biggest stars. Marx had to watch from the sideline as his brothers in green and gold fought their way to a historic victory. It was a bittersweet feeling for a player who lives to be in the fight. The recovery would be long, lonely, a 9-month road away from the game he loved. This was the ultimate ordeal. Stripped of his armor, unable to help, Marx faced the warrior's greatest test, the fight to get back. Resurrection isn't just about avoiding the fall. It's about how you get back up. Malcolm Marx's career proves that. Before his injury, he'd already reached the top of the mountain. In 2019, he was the key part of the Springbok squad that lifted the Webb Ellis Cup in Japan, a massive achievement for him and his country. His name was already in the history books, but his return from the devastating 2023 knee injury was incredible. He missed an entire season with the Japanese club, but was so valued that he was fast-tracked right back into the Springbok starting lineup in June 2024. It was a huge show of faith from the coaches, but his real resurrection happened in Japan. In the 2024-2025 season, he wasn't just back, he was dominating. He returned to his explosive try-scoring form, racking up 13 tries for the season and leading his team with a powerhouse performance all the way to the third-place playoff in the Japan Rugby League 1. Reports from his games were a checklist of his greatness, scoring tries, making huge tackles, and setting up his teammates. This wasn't just a comeback, it was a statement. He has faced the ordeal and come back even stronger. The reward aren't just trophies. Mark's legacy is also in the record books. He's one of the highest try-scoring forwards in the Springbok history, which is incredible for a hooker. He's officially a two-time World Cup winner, having been a member of both the 2019 and 2023 Victoria squad. He has cemented his place as one of the greats, not just through his power, but through his sheer will to get back into the fight. From the city of Germiston to the biggest stadium in world rugby, the journey of Malcolm Marx shows what true strength really is. Is it the story of a man who carries a quiet humility into the most brutal of arenas? He's more than just his big tackles or his amazing try-scoring record. He is the modern forward, powerful, skillful, and a relentless drive. He embodies the team's first ethos, a quiet man whose actions roar louder than any crowd. He stared down a career-threatening injury and didn't just return. He returned at the same dominant force he was before. That is the mark of a true champion. The boy from Johannesburg became a king of world rugby, and his reign isn't far from over yet. If you enjoyed the story, make sure to like the video and subscribe for more rugby biographies that go beyond the pitch. Who is another player whose journey has inspired you? Let us know in the comments below.